So we know the gut microbiome is important and vital for many functions within our bodies. It plays a role in protecting against pathogens, influencing gut-brain communication, and modulating the immune system and inflammatory states in our body. These are important and wide-reaching systems and really may want to lead you to exclaim, my gut can do what? We seem to exist because of our microbes, not despite them. This hopefully leads you to inquire about, what happens when there's damage to the gut microbiome? Any change in the gut microbiome composition that is associated with adverse functional outcomes, it's known as gut dysbiosis. So gut dysfunction is gut dysbiosis. We know that the gut microbiome regulates the immune and inflammatory processes within our body, which, if left unchecked, can trigger infections and lead to disease. Actually, gut dysbiosis has been associated with a long list of diseases, like inflammatory bowel disease, which includes things like Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, neuropsychiatric-related diseases, which range from neurodevelopmental diseases like autism spectrum disorder, and things like Parkinson's disease, anxiety, depression, and even Alzheimer's disease. Metabolic conditions like obesity and insulin sensitivity, cardiovascular diseases, immune-related diseases, and even some cancers. So while the list of diseases associated with changes in the composition and functionality of the gut microbiome, it continues to grow with scientific advancement, we still don't know whether changes in the gut microbiome are a consequence of, or completely unrelated to diseases. What we do know from both clinical and preclinical research is that restoring the gut microbiome to a healthy state and altering the composition of the gut microbiome can lead to many beneficial outcomes. Two popular methods for altering the gut microbiome are the use of probiotics and fecal microbiota transplantation, or FMT. Now, I will extensively cover what FMT is in another video, but let me just explain the basic principles of both of these here. Consuming probiotics can often lead to some beneficial changes in the composition and metabolic activity of the gut. But these are supplements and they don't create permanent changes. Actually, studies have shown that while taking probiotics, these bacteria, they play an important role. They can change what the gut can do, but these are transient changes, which means that when you're not taking a probiotic, you're no longer getting those benefits because the bacteria, hasn't fully engrafted or become part of the gut microbiome. So without constantly taking the probiotic, you don't have those bacteria in your gut. So these aren't permanent changes. In some cases, the damage to the gut microbiome is, too severe, and changes in diet and different supplementation, they can't restore the gut microbiome to a healthy state. In extreme cases like this, manipulating the gut microbiome from an unhealthy to a healthy state through a procedure called fecal microbiota transplantation, or FMT, which is sometimes referred to as microbiome transplant therapy, can be used to help restore lost or depleted bacteria that we know are essential for our health. What happens here is the gut microbiome from a healthy, well-screened donor, which is really just, their stool, which is, prepared in a very specific and sterile environment, is then implanted into an unhealthy person's intestinal tract to help them recolonize and restore the gut microbiome. FMT is a procedure that's being studied clinically across many disease states, and it's already widely and effectively used to treat recurrent C. diff. This has actually led to the expansion of research because, it's so effective in treating recurrent C. diff that we've started looking at the efficiency of FMT in a wide range of, GI and non-GI disorders. What I hope you take away from this is that our gut microbiome is important. It has wide-reaching effects, and it really does have large impacts in the inflammatory states and our immune system within our body. When it becomes really dysfunctional, we think it may be tied to many diseases. Research continues to grow, and with this, we hope we learn exactly what the gut microbiome is doing. Is it causing diseases, or is it just a good red flag to let us know that, well, a disease is coming or a disease is here? Research shows that in a lot of disorders, GI dysfunction sometimes comes before or is part of a disease. So hopefully with research, we get to fully understand what the gut microbiome can do. And, well, if manipulating it or supplementing it or restoring it back to its healthy state, well, is this what's going to help us with some disorders that, well, we just don't have any headway in? Or can it really help to just improve overall life quality by getting rid of, well, all of these GI symptoms that are tied to many disorders?